Ambrox. Yeah. You up for smelling today?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Like that. And we can go, can't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
It's very nice. Got a lovely jasmine black tea today.
Oh, is that one of the ones that I bought from the special offer?
That's one I brought in ages ago.
Oh, right, okay.
Ages ago. It's very nice.
Well, I'll just be drinking the water then.
From a very
From
nice
a very
cup.
nice cup, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, I've been thinking,
Mm-hmm.
and I was thinking about the number of materials that you start with and the number of materials you need to work with, because this discussion came up on the Senthusiasm Zooms, which we run, separate from this, where we all have live chats, because, you know, perfumery can be a lonely business. And it's kind of good to be online sometimes, talking to other people when you can't be in the room. And questions that come up: how many materials do you need to get started with? And also, how very, very easy it is to want everything. And this also brings in, going back to our chats about myths and incorrectness, where does the DPG, the dipropylene glycol, come from? Why do people keep adding that to formulas? And I'm back to my my creative uses by Firminish of how to use clear wood. So there's a formula here which is published, and it's to help you understand how to use clear wood in a... This is an eau de toilette for her at 10%. And it lists, of course, lots of things that they make and they supply. And if somebody thinks, oh, I could make an eau de toilette if only I have all of these things that Firminish make.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these formulas, the one without clear wood is recommending actually DIPG instead, so it would be 9% of a solvent to replace it to see what happens. Now, and people come up and they look at these things and they think, oh, well, I'm going to... They use that. I'm going to need benzyl acetate and benzyl salicylate and bergamot and bourgeonol, statilox and cinnamic alcohol and cinnamon from Ceylon, synthetic version, Ceylon.
And I am a very model of a modern lady general.
Ceylon, yeah. Cis-3-hexanol, cis-3-hexanol acetate, coronol, etc.
Yeah.
etc. And so people think, oh, I'm going to need those, and I don't have 2/3 of those, so I'd better get them. So these formulas are useful and interesting, but they have that habit of sending people shopping and thinking, I mean, that one's 17 materials.
It's kind of the point.
Yes, it sort of is. It sort of is, but these are really produced for big companies, big professional perfume companies that are providing, you know, eau de toilette formulas and, what's this one for? Eau de toilette for him. To other big companies to use. They're not so much for practicing. And they are by, they said, Harry Fremont, master perfumer. Thanks, Harry. But they do give the impression, and it's a lovely little, ooh, I can explore those, it's very exciting. But how many do you actually need? So I was thinking about that number, whose name we just Googled, and it turns out to be Dunbar's number. Mm-hmm. Dunbar is an anthropologist who researched networks of how many friends, how many people you can cope with in a network. And because I think of my materials as like people, it's not that I haven't got any friends. I've got a few, but I think of how they behave in certain circumstances, and I think it helps to imagine that to anthropomorphisize them a bit, to imagine that they have personalities, but they behave differently according to who they're with, which is what people do sometimes. And so I started to think, well, maybe Dunbar's number works for the number of materials that you can have in your life. Because Jean-Claude Elena has his list of 200s, like, I'm sticking with that. And I think absolutely explore a lot of them, but particularly if you're actually going to do this for a living and you're going to need to keep stock of a fair amount of things in a fair quantity, you're going to have to rein yourself in. So explore, but. So here we go. Dunbar's number. Why we can only maintain 150 relationships. So I am suggesting that we need to be around 150 materials. It does say that if you're brainy, you can cope with a few more, which is nice. So that I would think that Jean-Claude Elena, expert, also brainy, will have his at 200. That's understandable. But here it goes. So it says you can cope with 5 loved ones, 15 good friends, 50 friends, 150 meaningful contacts, 500 acquaintances, and 1,500 people you can recognise. And I would put it to you, Mr. McBain, that you can translate this into perfume materials. Like the 5 things you absolutely cannot do without, which probably try and sneak their way into everything that you make.
Yes.
15 that you really want to rely on. 50 you would always have in your collection. So it's not adding them on. These are included in. It's not necessarily, I think. Oh no, they're added on. Are they added on? Ah, so...
Yeah.
Oh, actually, so if you've got 100... No, it must be included. Because the 150 are the meaningful contacts. They include the 50 friends.
Yeah,
and the 15 good friends and the 5.
I think so.
I think it's cumulative.
Yes, I think it is.
Yeah, so it's an extra 10 good friends in addition to your loved ones, assuming that you're friends with the people you love. And
Yes.
if you're in a constructive sort of positive relationship, that would be the case.
Yeah.
That's for another time. But so 150 meaningful relationships, materials you really understand and want to use. Okay. 500 that you're pretty familiar with and that you would recognise. 1,500, which I think is not unreasonable. I think also you could probably stop at the 500.
Yeah.
But so I thought I would talk about my 5 loved ones.
I think that's a great idea.
Thank you. And perhaps we might
Can
get
I
as far as
can I guess?
Yes, you can.
Icy Super.
That is only one of my good friends.
Oh really? Okay. I think a black currant of some description.
Which I really thought about that, but it actually ended up in good friends.
Okay. I'm only gonna do one more guess. A wood. A cedar wood.
Good friend.
Wow.
Cedar
I know all
Atlas.
your good friends, I don't know your loved ones.
Well, my loved ones, I will start with Rose.
Okay, I wouldn't have said that.
Well, you know, Rose and I go back.
Yeah.
But perhaps what happens is that I don't remember to mention Rose all the time. But what happens to me is, and we ended up with a phrase on one of the Zooms we were doing. Just everybody just by the end was going, yeah, just want to stick a bit of rose in it. Because if you've got a problem with your fragrance, like what's it need? What's the gap in the middle? What would bring it all together? Like, should we stick a bit of rose in it?
Really?
So, and it was coming from everyone by the end of it. It's like
my attitude towards rose has changed over the course of these videos. I never thought I used to like it, and now I realise it's in most things. And
to a small or large extent, it holds things together. Rose is like, I feel like Amy downstairs when she makes sure none of us argue.
Yeah.
It's just like, you sort of don't, no, well, I think your point's good and your point's good, so maybe we put those together, now we can do this.
Yeah.
It was like your peacemaking best aunt. Or
That smells great.
Yeah, so this one is the Rose Ultimate. Older Rose Ultimate Extract, which is an upcycled natural. It's quite hard to get hold of, but yeah, that's the one that I bought. I also have a rose absolute here from Albert. And yeah, by itself, it doesn't really smell that rosy, but it just brings things together. And I would probably just sneak it into almost anything. Would you like to have any more guesses?
You know, I sort of, if the pressure wasn't on, I think I would be able to, but I feel under pressure now to come
You know
up
what
with.
it was? That big picture that got the most likes ever.
Labdanum.
Yeah. Yeah, so there we are on Instagram. And, you know, we normally get 100, 200 likes things. And it says, liked by, it actually said, Arthur McBain and 463 others. Like, how does it? No. But, so, I had bought, here you go, this is the one, 10 kilos of Labdanum Clair. Clair meaning light or clear in French, but in this case, it's not completely clear, it's orange, but it's lighter than normal Labdanum, it's more pourri, it's a bit easier to deal with. Also from Albert.
It's a very, very complicated thing to smell, I think.
And the first time I smelt it, I just didn't know. These are things which, if you're not familiar with them, and you wouldn't be unless you were a Middle Eastern perfume maker from 3,000 years ago. Okay, or for now. But these are not things that hang around the house. Not like, you might have some lavender essential. You're not going to have any Labdanum.
What's it made of?
It's made out of the rock rose plant, Cistus Labdanum, Cistus ladonifera. Anyway, it's also called the eggplant. No, the fried eggplant.
The fried eggplant.
Eggplants and aubergine. Yeah, fried eggplant. Because the flowers have white petals and they're yellow in the middle.
Wow.
You know, talking of Amy, she hates eggs.
Hates eggs.
Hates eggs.
Yeah.
Can't bear to be in the same room, so I won't mention it.
But this is very.
It is
very woody.
It almost defines amber, I think. This is from the resin. It's quite a sticky plant, and it used to be. I think it used to get caught in goats' beards. It grows around the Mediterranean. It grows in France and Spain, and in the park in Ealing actually, and then it grows in North Africa. So that's geography: France, Spain, North Africa, Mediterranean, and goats used to get it stuck in their beards while they were nibbling the leaves, and so it used to be combed out of goat's beard. And now it isn't.
Wow.
But I think it defines amber to me.
Yeah, I mean exactly. It smells. You'd be forgiven for dismissing it on first smell.
Yeah.
And going, oh, that's just a complicated, sticky, smelly thing. But then the more you leave it lingering around your nose, the more delicate and sweet it gets.
Complicated, sticky, without the smoke. And so I'm thinking it's like, it's your elderly uncle you think is quite boring. You think you have nothing in common. And then you suddenly realise that you and he have been reading the same books.
Yeah.
And because he's in this back of this brown woody library that smells a bit of pipe smoke probably, and you think, well, I'll spend time with them. And then you realise that actually he's very kind and very knowledgeable and very wise, and he just imparts wisdom to you bit by bit, and helps other things calm down.
Yeah, totally. Oh.
So I'll put him with Auntie Rose. Uncle Sisters and Auntie Rose.
Yeah, and they get on.
We've got another. This is not in this part; it's in that part. We've got another character for our novel.
Oh yeah.
Iris Butter. Violet leaf, iris butter, Vera moss,
Sicily 3-hexanol.
Sicily hexanol, yeah. Yeah. Okay. There are 1, 2, 3 more in this. My loves.
I'm looking over at the ingredients over there, trying to get some.
2 of them are not on the shelf.
Oh, well, that doesn't help.
Will not help you. There goes the helicopter. I will. Okay, this is a very rare one.
Okay.
And even dipping it in the pot's gonna cost me £1. It's not quite, but it's.
Oh wow!
I know it's.
Okay, don't tell me what it is until I smell it.
I probably shouldn't.
This is a game show.
Could have put in it. Yeah. What's on the stick, Arthur?
Thank you.
As you see.
Tobacco. Is it?
No.
Oh.
Although.
Hey, Absolute.
I get where you're coming from. You'd almost have to come back to this one. I'm going to dip something where it's diluted, but not very much. I just noticed I had this here, which.
Oh, that's diluted.
Yeah, it's still. It's not. It's only to 60% though, just to make it usable. But it's a bit easier to smell. But this takes a while, and I'm talking about getting to know something.
Oh, cognac.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
It's Raspberry Leaf Absolute.
Wow.
And
Yes.
the trouble is, I first got some Raspberry Leaf Absolute for when it used to be able to buy it like at about £600 a kilo, and I can't find it for less than €7,000 a kilo.
Oh.
So I don't use all that much. So that's from 500 grams at 60%. That's 400. No, 400 grams. There's 240. So that's that's about £2,000 worth.
No way.
Yeah. Well, that's not what I paid for it. That's what I'd have to pay if I bought it now.
Wow.
Yikes. But Raspberry Leaf Absolute smells eventually, when it deigns to leave the strip and head up your nose, it smells like the bottom of the jam pan. It smells a bit like, I do get the brandy and the hay and the tobacco.
I'm getting that now.
All of those things. Oh, this is my gorgeousness. So that is another of my loves.
Wow, that is really, yes, really, really nice.
I'm not even sure that that's human. It's a goddess.
I agree.
Raspberry Leaf Absolute just doesn't even turn up to parties really. It's just like it sets the scene. What it does is comes in, it decks the entire room in velvet, and then it just leaves.
Yeah.
So it changes the mood for everybody,
Yeah.
but it's not going to bother talking.
Wow, it's really nice.
And so, so far, my favourites, my loves are naturals. Because I think you can get very fond of synthetics, but I know, I think you're in love with cashmere and velvet, though. Aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Oh, it's good.
What area is it in? You say?
Is it lavender?
No.
But no, it's a citrus.
It is, but it's very easy to get those two.
Yeah, that's why I went lavender, because I initially went, this is some kind of lemon. Or no, wait, it's not. It's tangerine.
No, wait, it's bergamot.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
I was just thinking, other requests we have had are for you to appear.
I was going to show my
How
shirt.
tricky is it? Yes.
I'll show you my t-shirt and then pop back behind the camera.
Let's hope that the sun doesn't go in the meantime. Yeah.
My t-shirt.
Can anyone see your head, do you think?
I don't know. What do you need me to do?
Arthur.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Right, go back.
And now no one will ever want to see me again. I just want to watch you. Thank you. Well, you know. But then somebody did say, "Oh yes, is that the one who was in the Freeway film?" Yes,
yes.
You're right. We've done stuff. And then I'm torn. I'm going to tell you that the next one is another citrus fruit, but I actually feel like I'm sort of in love with the whole family of citruses. This is one.
Lemon.
Yes. Ordinary lemon or posh lemon?
Ordinary lemon.
Posh lemon. I give you a hint there. This is Cedra. So I'm smelling this because I've managed to source some. Oh, thank goodness. Because I couldn't find any, and I think they just hadn't been picked this year or last year. But I've got my hands on some. In fact, this from Capua, it's coming over from Italy. Italia. If I'm going to pronounce it, no, anyway. I just head off there. So this is just. It could drive a Ferrari.
Yeah, I mean it's
an electric Ferrari. I don't. It's sunshine. It's
lemon drops.
It is a bit the sweeties.
Yeah.
Yes. Sherbet lemons.
Yeah, sherbet lemons. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. Sherbet in the UK not being the same thing as sherbet in the US, because sherbet in the US is sorbet.
Is it?
Yeah. If you ask for a lemon sherbet, you don't get a solid little sweet in the white packet.
No, you get a scoop of sorbet.
Yeah. So you have to be careful.
Wow.
Like you know. Talking to people about their pants.
Well, exactly. I once in LA spent about 5 minutes asking someone for gherkins on my sandwich. They had no idea what I was talking about.
Pickles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cornichon.
Well, yeah. What kind of pickles? Lots of things can be pickles.
Yeah. Exactly. It won't let you go, will it?
No, it's really, really, really nice.
I think it's partly because this is we've got tiny little amount on the stick, but this is neat. Something about it when it's like this is what happened to us last week. We got stuck smelling the peppermint.
We have got to.
We couldn't move.
We have got to sort of.
Yes.
I certainly not the camera.
So. Right, we're back. So that's I would say, if forced. And of course, you can change your mind every now and again. These things are your relationships are not set in stone, are they? One can be in love with 5 things.
Absolutely.
And it can all hold people. But I've been pretty faithful to these materials for the last 11 years.
I recognise all of them in fragrances that you make.
Yeah, I think every single one is in Tokyo Spring Blossom, and probably Babylon Sunset, and yeah. I wonder if there's anything I make that has not one of them in there. But probably not. So I think it's worth going through the materials makers and just deciding which ones do you really feel you know inside out. And if you've got a random collection of the 500, you've got to start working out which ones you're going to spend time with. Mm-hmm. Priorities, life.
Yeah.
So you did guess a few of my my close friends quite well. I mean,
Blackcurrant Bud Absolute.
The one I brought up actually, I didn't bring the Absolute, partly just because I'm a little bit.
Vanillin's got to be up there as well.
Close. So this one is the Vert de Cassis Givco.
Ah, yes.
The one I sent you to look for, but forgot to tell you that it was in French.
Yeah.
Mean. So.
Oh. So good.
It's so good I bought 5 kilos.
I reckon that is a big candidate for just being sold by itself.
I think it probably
as a
is.
fragrance.
I think I probably bought a fragrance that was just this before I, 20 years ago, before I started doing any of this.
Yeah.
Something similar anyway.
Oh, it's good.
I should do my influencer thing today.
What's that?
But Truth, Beauty, Freedom, Love bracelet by Lydia Nisiblian, and also matching necklace. I should do that.
There we go.
4,160 Tuesdays uniform actually has my name on by Design Confections. I'll remember. I've gone blank. Yeah. I was just kidding. But there's Truth, but this is
Lydia's.
Inspired by Truth, Beauty, Freedom, Love, the fragrance, which we're about to bring back big time because we all need that right now, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. I love that bracelet. She's very good, isn't she?
She is.
I like her Instagram page.
Also,
it's always very interesting.
Ring by Jade Meller, also very good. It's anyway. The other people's creative work, you just end up with a nice bunch of equally, interesting, talented people around you. Design Confections, definitely the name. Yeah. Labdanum, yes, of course. That's a labdanum flower. That's a Sister's Labdanum.
There we go.
Of course it is. Yeah. Pink grapefruit, rose, Orris, blackcurrants I've got on my clothes because I had my clothes made to match my favourite material. Okay, so blackcurrant, yes.
Yeah.
And I put blackcurrant, raspberry and rose together and that's just all marvellous.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
But then probably what they need is some of the things which are over here. I've got. I should maybe talk about the synthetics, which these are my close friends. I don't love them. I'm very, very fond of them because without them, these wouldn't work together.
Mm-hmm.
This is natural. As a vegan, you might be.
Beeswax.
Yeah, beeswax. I know. I like to think the bees have finished with it. But of course it is the work of an animal. Therefore, I do use it in some things. Sustainable at the moment, as long as the bees are happy when they've wandered off and left it behind. I mean, can you tell? Can you ask a bee, are you happy? As long as that, yeah.
I love it. It smells lovely.
Yeah. Well, I put it in there because they're important. So... Yeah.
I was going to say, tell me you've got coumarin in there.
It was do I put it in at the last minute? And I was going for Ambrox because it was between the two of them. I didn't have enough space for both. But it's definitely in the 50.
Surely.
Because you sort of can't not. Right, there you go. So the blackcurrant, the Vert de Cassis Chivco, that is a recreation, so that's not natural. It's not natural. But I could have used blackcurrant bud, but...
So what's this you just handed me?
Ethyl vanillin.
Yes.
Or vanillin if you're talking to chemists.
Thought so.
So this is stronger than vanillin, 3 to 4 times stronger, and this one is the sustainably produced one from Norway.
That comes in lovely tins.
Actually, that's the vanillin from the same company. It just came in a whacking great big
That's
bag.
right.
Which I think is still... We've still got to tidy the entrance for when we're allowing people back in. We've gone dark again, Arthur.
Yeah, I know.
Going
It's
on
fine.
that because
Well,
I fixed it.
I fixed it.
It's just when we get going. At least they've gone. At least the builders. If I say at least the builders have shot up, they're going to come out here and start banging again,
Yeah.
aren't they? Okay, I never said that. Yes, so I do have Isoe Super in this collection because, I mean, you know what it smells like, but
Yeah.
the point is that it just goes, you can invite it to all your parties, can't you? Isoe Super is the one where somebody drops out at the last minute, you know that you can just get him round. I think of him as masculine. And he'll sit at the table, and wherever you put him, he's going to get on fine with everyone.
Yeah. Isoe Super remembers everyone's names when they meet them.
Yeah, and probably what they did for a living.
Yeah. But also, you know, is probably more... Isoe Super's a person at a party who's more interested in what everyone else is doing with their lives
Yeah.
than themselves.
Yeah.
Because they're actually, you know, by himself he's quite boring.
He's interested in making everyone else feel a bit better about themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Isoe Super.
Yeah, you meet Isoe Super at a party, you always go away feeling better than when you got there.
Isidore, that's the name, isn't it?
Isidore.
Isidore, yeah.
No, it's Isidore, yeah.
Isidore Ernest Super.
Yes.
It's another character.
Iso for short.
Yeah.
Isidore, yeah. Another you're in. Isidore Ernest Super. Yeah. Good. For reasons that, you know, just does good things. Yeah, sustainable or renewable. Doesn't biodegrade very quickly, so we'll see what happens. But still on the list. Still, I'm not going to not use it. I mean, Hedione, of course, because Hedione adds sparkle. Hedione's like opening the windows when it's got a bit stuffy. Methyl dihydrojasminate. Formerly extraordinarily expensive, now not. But here's the thing. I mean, when Hedione came out, it was massively expensive because they'd just invented it and patented it, and there's tiny amounts produced. And so it's, oh my goodness, you're using Hedione in your perfume. Ooh, can you afford it? Can we? And now it's kind of, you know, 50 quid a bucketful, and so people will say, oh, it's cheap. It's still the same thing as when it was expensive.
Yeah.
The price is irrelevant. It's what it does that's important.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to put that with my, what have I got here? Maybe I can make the raspberry leaf absolute come out the corner.
Yes, and it does that.
Yep. So, it's something I don't really smell much.
No.
I'm not good at smelling it. Other people say, oh, but yes, it's flowers. And it's like, thinking, you're fortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not very strong.
But with the Cedra, lemon sherbet, not sorbet. So yes, I think you just gotta make friends with Hedione, and you might pass it by. You know, you think, shall I get Hedione around? No, they don't do much, do they? But actually, it's only when you run an event without Hedione present that you realise, damn, should have invited them.
Hedione clears up.
You're probably right. Excuse me.
I'm really there. I'm at this party. I'm at this party in my head.
Yeah.
I'm glad Hedione was invited.
Quite a big space. It's socially distanced. And,
yes.
Yeah. So you also mentioned a wood.
Mm-hmm.
I put a couple in.
You've got sandalwood.
I have got sandalwood.
Yes.
Yes. And of course, at the moment, I do have this lovely attar, miti attar, which is mostly sandalwood, but it's sandalwood co-distilled with clay pots. This is not this. This is sandalwood. I want both of them. One up each nostril. Sorry, you can have one. So this is the essential oil. I also use sandalwood, which is a single molecule that smells a lot like it. And I also use a sandalwood reconstruction, the base. Yeah, you can do that. Arthur is putting it on his hand. It's okay. This is the proper Indian sandalwood.
So good.
Isn't it? It's,
yeah.
I mean, at first when people said sandalwood was creamy, I was thinking, what are they talking about? And then I smelt the actual Mysore and thought, okay, I get it. I get it.
I can't smell it terribly much today.
It's just reliable. Are we going to...
I always smell things with my mouth open.
Yeah.
Just let it hang open.
One can live without sandalwood in perfumery. I mean, it's for a while it just wasn't coming out of India at all because the people who were supplying it were not doing it ethically, so it had to be, just got restricted. As only a certain amount can leave the country. So you want to make sure that it's being harvested properly and not people cutting the whole tree down so that it ruins the whole industry, and also their livelihoods. But yeah, gorgeous stuff. So, I mean, my way of working, and it's not everybody's way of working, of course, but the way I like to do things is take naturals and bring the best out of them with synthetics. And that's not something I've invented. It's the way that I feel I like to work. And while I have made my own rose base, and you know, one of the modern skills is making sure that you could create your own sandalwood and curate your own other things. Perfumers got by for, 5,000 years without having to do that, just working with naturals, but it was horrendously expensive. I know what this is.
I really, really, really recognise it.
Well, you will have bottled it.
Yeah. This is in Time to Draw the Raffle Numbers.
I think everything's in Time to Draw the Raffle Numbers. But it's also in Tokyo Spring Blossom.
Is it... Davana? How do you pronounce that?
But it's a Popanax, but I know what you mean, because it has that sort of dark reddish brown chestnutty colour feel, slightly boozy, but it's a Popanax.
Popanax, yeah.
And this is the first one, like when you did that thing with the Labdanum earlier, this is when I first discovered this. It's like, what? No, what?
Yeah, it's very mucky, isn't it? It's murky.
It sort of reminds me a little bit of cough medicine. I think it was something I must have had as a child that smelled a little bit like this.
I have, and I promise you I mean this in the best possible way.
Go for it.
I get upper tones of wee.
Yes, urinous. Somebody wrote a comment yesterday
Urinous.
saying it smells a bit urinal. And actually, yeah, so the word is,
Uranus, not which
Uranus.
is. Hang on a minute. They changed the planet Uranus to Uranus.
No,
so
if
it's not a bum,
it
it's
smells differently. It's spelt differently. No,
Uranus.
It's like urine, U-R-I-N, as opposed to U-R-N.
Yeah. But it is slightly like that. Do you know?
We've descended to the poo jokes already.
I haven't even started on the jokes yet.
Okay. It's not. Yeah. It's,
but I mean that in a good way. But it's not
a certain pungency.
Yeah, I mean it's not manky wee.
No.
It's
Fresh wee.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, so there's when people talk about the cassis, the blackcurrant, going, oh, loads of cat pee, and
Yeah.
outside the industry, people are going, they say, what?
Yeah.
Why would you want that? And yet, you know, put that Verde de Cassis with some citrus, and just amazing. Okay, this one took me years and years, like 8, before I let it into my inner circle here.
Right. So it took a while for you to realise it's genius.
Yeah.
That is hay.
It's actually
It's not hay.
Orris.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I'm
But
doing
it's
really badly here, aren't I?
No, it's really, really difficult.
Yeah.
It's just complete out of context on a strip.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't do this, and a lot of people who are paid to do it for a living can't do it. You know, takes a while. And actually, this is Orris resinoid, which I don't normally use, so I'm not even sure I would have recognised. It was a small bottle, so I grabbed it and brought it up here.
What does resinoid mean? It's taken from the resin. What?
Oh, it's well, yes.
Yeah.
It's that you if you have a resin, by the time we get resinoids, this is a labdanum resinoid. They are distilled and processed so that they are more runny.
Right. Oh, right. Okay.
I should look up in Poucher exactly how you make resinoids, because processed so they're not quite so runny is not very technical, is it? But very grounding, because it comes from under the ground. It seems like things that are made out of roots just all seems to be
Yeah.
stable. My uncle Leslie, the accountant, I think, quite I don't know, tweed jackety. Uncle Leslie was head of one of the Unilever companies.
Wow.
And they said, you've got to have a Rolls Royce. He said, I don't want one. I like my Volvo. And
Great.
they said, well, no, because if you have a Rolls Royce, then if you just drive around in a Volvo, other people won't aspire to be like you, to want to go for your job. And he said,
I don't want them to get my job.
yeah, but he also said, no, they will.
Yeah.
They'll understand that it's not, that stuff's not important.
Yeah.
I very much admire him.
Yes.
He is the late Uncle Les, but he's Orris for me. He's like, I just don't want everyone staring at me because I've got a shiny car. He's in Liverpool, for goodness sakes. I mean, it's like they think he was a Beatle, but
It has got Volvo tones. This.
yeah, he got fined ever so many times for going through the Mersey Tunnel with his lights on, because it was illegal to go through the Mersey Tunnel with your lights on. But he had a Volvo.
Yeah, because the Volvo lights are always on.
Can't turn off.
Yeah.
And so he used to go through every day and back again to the Wirral.
Yeah.
And they kept finding him.
Why? That can't still be a rule.
No, it isn't.
But I know
still a
that
rule.
you're meant to turn your lights off before you go through the Mersey Tunnel.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, because it's because of the way the eyes work when you suddenly go into darkness. That
Right.
your eyes needed to adjust because the tunnel wasn't brightly lit. So if you had lights on, they looked extra bright, like driving along with lights.
Because the oncoming traffic you're not separated from the oncoming traffic, so presumably there would be glare as well.
Yeah. So that's.
We've managed to get traffic related
I know.
conversation into this video.
Yes,
We've
but it's
hit-
yes.
that is a new low.
Orris is just responsible. Orris doesn't care. Orris does a good job, and if people go, oh, I didn't really notice you, it goes, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yes. Frodin. His surname was Frodin. He wasn't a hobbit.
Leslie
Leslie
Frodin.
Frodin. There might be people even who remember him.
Oh, here we go. Parma violets.
Mm-hmm. Now this is at 100% strength, so I have to don't sniff it too much because it's an ionone, and ionones tend to sort of dull your nose a little bit. So we went, but this is methyl ionone gamma,
Yes.
and it's one of those 4 things which is in the Grossman Accord, the key to modern perfumery. Isoy Super, Galaxolide Musk, this methyl ionone gamma, and Hedione. So if you only pick 4 synthetics, probably you want to go with those. But it's not as quite as Palmer Violet-y as Ionone Alpha. This is methyl ionone gamma. Ionone Alpha is the full-on Palmer Violet. This will slip nicely into any floral or woody fragrance and make it richer and stronger. And I'm trying to think which of my relatives it's it's like. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. See, I actually did pick 15, but I think probably we'll just do another 2 and then we'll knock it on the edge. So a musk, I have Ambratolide here. What do I don't you know? I just realised it's written out, scribbled out. Yeah, no, this is Ambrox, because that's really important. And I think I said, by process of deduction, I realised that the things that were making my citrus fragrances last a long time, and what was happening was they all had Ambrox in them. The ones, it will just stick to citrus fruits and go, yeah, you're coming with me, I'll give you a lift, and take it a little bit further.
Citruses are the people at the party who get drunk too quickly and end up leaving. And what Ambrox has done is given them a glass of water so they can stay a bit longer.
Yeah. Slowed them down a bit, given them a bit of food.
Yeah.
Yes. Got them to pace themselves. So actually, the citruses remain bright and shiny for longer, because otherwise they just fall asleep in the corner.
Yeah. It's, I smell this and I think, this will make your perfume a proper perfume.
Yeah, it has been a missmelt. There are people who think that the intense amber woodiness that comes from things like, the Sauvage school of brown Loki scents, they think that it's Ambrox doing that, and it's not. It is Amber Extreme or Nolimbanol or Karmawood or one of the I'm gonna last 16 hours and just watch me kind of. And Ambrox is more like, well, I might last 16 hours, but I'm not going to smack you in the face with my presence. No.
I've been smacked in the face by Ambrox, by Amber Extreme a lot lately.
Yeah.
Just wandering around.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I haven't been on pavements with many people walking in front of me for such a long time.
Yeah.
I keep getting smacked in the face by those
Yeah.
overwhelming blokey smells.
Yes. Whereas this is just soft and gentle. This is marathon runner.
Yeah.
Possibly even triathlon.
A triathlete.
It's a triathlete.
I know a triathlete, professional triathlete, and she posts all of her meals on Instagram. And wow, you really can eat what you want when you do that much exercise, can't you?
I stayed up last Friday night, so I'm still tired. I stayed up till like 3 watching the triathlon relay.
Wow.
There's the hashtag Be More Ye.
Right.
Because, the guy who came, I think he got silver in the full triathlon, and then they all got gold with Johnny Brownlee and I'll remember.
And why do you need to be more ye?
Oh, they want everyone to be more ye. The whole team wants everyone to be, because he's just calm and cool and just keeps going, and he just won. He's wonderful. Look him up. Yeah, Ambrox, Be More Ye. Okay. So.
Oh. That's definitely there, isn't it?
It's up there. So what I'm suggesting is that
This is apricot.
people pick is so close. This is peach lactone, also known as C14 lactone. It's known as C14 peach aldehyde, although it's not an aldehyde. Gamma undecalactone.
This is up there for me. If I was a perfumer, this would be in my top 5.
Close friends with a peach. Yeah, it's been around a long time, at least 100 years. It's in Mitsuko. What do I put it in? Dough in the Snow. It features quite heavily in Dough in the Snow.
Yeah.
It's in Meet Me on the Corner. And
it's just great.
One of the reasons I was very drawn to it's in Diorella, which is, you know, as perfumes go, that'd be in my top 5. Probably at number 1. Yeah, it is great.
It feels to me like it's in the vanillin school of smells.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I would categorise them together. Creamy. They're both creamy, but with just different sort of fruity hints.
And I'll tell you something interesting about them, which is that they both last forever and ever and ever, but you can smell them all the way through a perfume.
Wow.
So it feels like a top note. I mean, if you put vanilla in a perfume, you'll smell it.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't go away. So they sort of behave like, see previous films, they sort of behave like top notes, but actually are base notes.
Wow.
So.
I feel like peach lactone. I mean, at the moment, I feel like peach lactone's the person that you always invite to the party, and desperately want them to be there.
Yeah, it's
and
always
then,
a bit disappointing if they don't show.
Yes, but when they do show, it was worth all the 10 times that they declined.
Yeah, yeah. One of those people who just smiles and sparkles and listens, I suppose. The best people are the ones who listen, aren't they?
Also a great dancer. I have a feeling like peach lactone is a very good dancer.
I think quite sexy dancer.
Yeah, effortlessly sexy.
Yeah.
Not sort of gratuitous.
Doesn't take up a lot of space.
No.
Just draws people in.
Yeah. I've fallen in love with peach lactone.
Yeah. Yeah, like, yes, for like very, very, very light ginger hair.
Yes.
Like, peachy coloured. Now, so I'm might be slightly straying. I think. Okay, that was 10. But
this is a bonus one.
This is a bonus, and then I've got one more bonus, and then I'll stop.
Oh, Velvione.
So close, actually. This one is Helvetica Light, but it has the feel. It's a little bit lighter and fruitier. I think if you smelt your Velvione, you'd go, ah.
Yeah.
But
Helvetica Light.
It's
oh, it's good, isn't it?
It is good. It is good. It's another one of the musks. Like, so you've got Ambrox, Velvione, Helvetica are those that kind of like I'm here, rather than some musks that just go.
Oh.
This is a bit more.
It's not that with peach.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, we've got a perfume on our hands.
Yeah. Don't need much else, do you?
No. Wow.
I might talk one day about the difference between perfumes that have gaps in them and perfumes that are full.
Mm.
That's because I think you can do unplugged perfumes, and then you can do full orchestral perfumes. So
yes.
you can have a song that's fine with a guitar and a voice, and it's just great the way it is, and you'd buy it and you'd go and listen to that person. but you could orchestrate it as well.
Yeah.
And there are some accords, so I think you could take Helvetalide and peach lactone and you can make a really nice song out of it. But then you could take them and you can add a whole like sheeple background to it and it would still be, it'd just be more full.
Mm.
I think in terms of production.
Who is it who said, I'm probably misquoting someone here, that music is what happens in the gaps?
Well, I know that meditation is what happens in the gaps between thoughts.
Right, yeah.
But music's what happens.
See, because whenever I hear music for example, when I used to play in bands, the way you could tell a good drummer was when they don't hit the drums.
Yeah.
And that feels like it's possibly applicable to perfume.
It's a question I think. Where I'm heading with this is how many gaps do you fill up? You know, because sometimes we customize our fragrances, and I designed Sexiest Scent on the Planet Ever. I mean, that was supposed to be 80% of a perfume, and the other 20% you could put something else in that you wanted at the particular event. So Sexiest Scent on the Planet you can add all kinds of things to, but something like Complicated Shadows or its friend Both Sides of Clouds, if someone said to me, can I add something to it? The answer is no. Mm-hmm. You can't. It is complete. It is full. It is there. Don't mess.
Yeah.
But you can wear accords.
They go so well together.
Yeah, you can wear that. Okay, last one. Last one in my essentials. I should probably just take these as a challenge and they're like, you're only allowed to use these and make a perfume. I could make 30 different perfumes. Okay, they might have some similarities.
Oh, this is spicy.
What of the things, if you thought, oh my goodness, what haven't we talked about yet that Sarah always uses, what would that thing be, do you think? Like, how could we have missed that out? The thing that's at the bottom of so many of my fragrances, like, it's Oakmoss, Arthur, it's Oakmoss.
Oh yeah, Oakmoss, yeah.
And you'd know once you smell it. So this is Oakmoss Absolute, it's a real thing.
That's going to go with peach and Helvetalide.
Yeah.
Oh.
But as soon as you put the Oakmoss with the peach and Helvetalide, it knocks it over.
It does, yeah.
It's just too big. You've got two floaty things happily playing about here, and then you take the Oakmoss and it goes thump. So if you wanted peach, Helvetalide and Oakmoss in a fragrance, you would have to fill in the gaps.
So there's a gap there, yes, so you'd need to provide some stepping stones.
Yeah. These three together in a room, it would not go well.
What would you, who would you add to this party to?
Okay, so we can bridge a lot of this with bergamot. We can definitely stick some rose in, and I might have to reach out for another musk, but Isoe Super would do it, and I'd stick the Labdanum in there. The Labdanum, the Oakmoss and the bergamot, just like, Oakmoss is a little bit, one of those people you just can't trust. They'll just say the wrong thing.
Right, okay, yeah.
And then the mood changes.
Yeah.
I mean, wonderful, salt of the earth, marvellous, known it forever, great friends, but do you want to introduce it to Peach and...
Mentions to your granny that you've got a tattoo. And goes, oh, I didn't realise.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah, the one who will come up and say, oh, just, yes.
Okay, then.
Yes,
I think
that's enough.
I think that your challenge of making something from only these ingredients is, I think that would be a good thing, a good exercise to do. I mean, not now, but I mean.
Yeah. It is. I now
Maybe in a follow-up.
realised what's happened is that I then actually did my favourite emoji that I'm using at the moment, which is I definitely like.
Love that
I've
emoji.
become, yeah, I use
Yeah.
it a lot now. It's just like, Arthur just asked me to take these and make a fragrance out of them.
Not all of them.
No, okay.
I think maybe we should do a video in the future of you sort of live improvisation.
Oh right. Yes. Yeah, I probably have I done that? I've done it. I mean, I've done it in real life. I've done it for when Olga from Aura of Kazakhstan came in that time.
Yeah.
And she said she liked perfumes like Angel, and Harry and I had a fume off. Yeah, it's like we both grabbed stuff and started making fragrances to compete.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that would make a television program.
Yeah. Great.
The Great British Smell Off.
Smimprov.
Stink off.
Stink off.
That'll do. Yeah. So, lesson: get familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Choose your favourites.
And I think the using turning them into people at a party. I think is a very good technique.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a perfumer, but if I were, I would probably use that party technique.
Well, it's all about getting familiar. When you say getting familiar with your materials, not just, it's like the 1500 that you would recognise. That's not the same as best friend. 50 close friends.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, look at it like that, and it will help.
And it's also what gives you it's also what will give you your own style.
Yeah. Your 5. I really love to know what people's 5 would be. I might swap out the Cedra for the Mandorla.
But you're allowed to do that.
Yeah. You're allowed, because life's like that. On that note.